So the Marvel Cinematic Universe is huge and ever expanding. We know that sooner or later we're gonna get a bunch of the Fox characters such as the X-Men, but of course a giant part of this cinematic universe happens to be the TV characters. TV shows that spun off from the MCU like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. only paved the way for things like Daredevil, The Punisher, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, The Runaways, and a few more that are in development. And of course with so many franchises, many people expected the characters from the Netflix shows like Daredevil would show up in Avengers Infinity War. And then of course they didn't, because their own stories, well some of them at least, would prevent them from doing that. Well, recently it was confirmed that all of these characters were at one point considered for the movie, but unfortunately they did not fit the story. Well, recently, McFeely, who is one of the writers of Avengers Infinity War, wanted to actually talk about that. And here's what he had to say, and I quote, "We talked about it at the time. I don't know anything about the animosity between Marvel Studios and Marvel Television. In a movie this big, we certainly had the conversation. Should we put Luke Cage in this? Here we are in New York. That's the kind of stuff, as you could probably tell. It would just be a glorified cameo at this point. We're trying to honor the MCU movies. And if we then further tell the audience, oh, you should have a good knowledge of the streaming services over there, then you may or may not subscribe to. That's really asking a lot." And then he further goes on and reiterates if you would have had someone like a Luke Cage showing up to fight Cull Obsidian and Ebony Maw, people would just go then, and I quote, "That's all you gave Luke Cage?" Question mark. Exclamation point in anger. And then he also talks about the fact that next year there's going to be more of these shows that are coming out after Avengers Infinity War, and they couldn't just bring these characters in and then wipe them out of existence and go, well, next year I guess it's Daredevil starring Rosario Dawson, and that's that. So yeah, honestly, I agree with him. Like I said, before the movie, I wanted to see at least some sort of cameo or something, but when I watched the movie, there was nowhere you could put them in. And if you shove them into, like he says, a quick scene, then that just feels cheap, and people would go on, well, okay, who's that? Because let's be real, way more people are watching these movies than are watching the TV shows. That is a fact. So if you bring Luke Cage in there and somebody doesn't know who he is, and people are cheering in the crowd and people are excited, then what is going on? People are watching the movies. It's the cinematic universe for the films, not the Netflix shows. So it makes a whole lot of sense. I just want to see how they're going to keep handling this in the future, though.